Ever scroll through like the comments, and just wonder what is going on in this person's head?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what makes someone dedicate their precious time to being so negative online?
Yeah.
Well, get this, our deep dive today tackles exactly that.
Okay.
We're going deep into the psychology of haters
Right.
with this entrepreneur who's clearly encountered a few,
Interesting.
and he goes beyond just your average, like, didn't like the movie kind of critique.
Oh,
Way beyond. He's
right.
talking about next level negativity,
Uh-huh.
the kind that almost makes you question if these people have a shrine with your name on it.
Right.
But, not in a good way.
Oh,
He says true haters aren't just offering a critique, they're obsessed.
wow.
But the truly fascinating part,
Yeah.
he connects these haters to, wait for it, obsessive fans.
Really?
It's wild, right?
That's interesting.
So he actually calls them fanboys
Okay.
and argues that they're driven by the same intense energy.
Interesting.
It's just that haters, well, they flip the script to negative.
Wow. So two sides of the same coin.
Exactly.
Both a little too invested.
Right.
But one cheers you on while the other not so much.
Yeah. It's like their opinion, whether it's wildly positive or harshly negative, somehow becomes a part of their identity.
Yeah.
They need to broadcast it.
They do.
It's almost like I can picture them crafting the perfect snarky reply, imagining the internet points rolling in.
Oh, yeah.
But what's perplexing is why
Right.
direct such laser-focused negativity at someone?
Right.
It's bizarrely specific, right?
It is really strange when you think about it.
It really is.
Like, what's the payoff?
Exactly.
You know?
And the author suggests it often boils down to this idea of the person they dislike being a fraud.
A fraud. Okay.
They see the success but can't square it with their own assessment of that person's talent.
Right. So the person they dislike must be faking it.
Fraud is such a loaded term, though.
It is.
It's not just, I dislike their work. It's, this person is a phony and I'm going to expose them.
Yeah, it's like they're on a mission.
It's almost this like righteous indignation they have.
Exactly. And they'll exaggerate both the person's fame and their perceived lack of talent.
Oh, so it's a double whammy.
Yes. To create this gap that can only be explained in their minds by the person being a total fake.
So in a way, it's less about the person they're hating on and more about this narrative they've built to explain away someone else's success.
Yeah, their hatred becomes this weird form of self-justification.
Okay, so we're starting to see the mental gymnastics at play here.
Definitely.
But I'm wondering who becomes this invested in negativity.
Right.
It's kind of a bleak way to see the world.
It really is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes you wonder about their own lives, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He noticed a pattern in the haters he's encountered.
Okay.
Often they possess some talent themselves, but
Right.
haven't quite achieved the level of success they believe they deserve.
So there's this element of, I could be them.
Yeah.
The simmering frustration that fuels their negativity.
Precisely, they project their own unfulfilled aspirations onto the object of their hatred.
It's like they're living vicariously through their negativity.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah.
It becomes this weird equation in their mind.
Right.
Their lack of recognition plus this other person's success must equal some kind of cosmic injustice.
Wow. That's a bit heartbreaking, isn't it?
It is.
To be so trapped in that mindset that you can't even appreciate the success of others.
Yeah, it's like they're blinded by their own resentment.
It makes you wonder, does achieving their own success somehow break the spell?
That's a great question.
Like, does it neutralize that negativity?
And the author actually tackles that head on.
Okay.
He claims, in his experience, true haters rarely, if ever, reach that level of success themselves.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah.
You're telling me there's like a hater paradox?
It's not a paradox, but
Where their negativity becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
it's an interesting thought, though, right?
Yeah.
He suggests their negativity becomes such a core part of their identity.
It's like they've built a prison around themselves.
Exactly. And they're trapped inside.
And the bars are made of snarky comments and internet trolling.
And they're so busy tearing others down that they don't do the work to build themselves up.
That's kind of sad, actually.
It is.
But it also makes a weird sort of sense.
Right.
Like if they did succeed, they'd have to face the fact that their negativity was misplaced all along.
Exactly.
That the world isn't out to get them.
And that can be a difficult thing to process.
Right.
When you've invested so much in that negative narrative.
It's like they're addicted to their own bitterness, in a way.
It's a comfortable space for them.
Yeah.
Familiar.
So where does that leave us?
Well,
How do you deal with these haters?
it's tough.
Especially if, as we've established, engaging with them is like trying to reason with a brick wall.
You've heard of don't feed the trolls?
Yeah.
The author takes a similar approach. He suggests you treat haters like overzealous fans.
Oh, interesting.
Acknowledge their existence,
Oh, okay.
but don't exhaust yourself trying to understand or change them.
So it's more about protecting yourself
Ex-
than trying to fix them.
You can't change someone who doesn't want to be changed.
It's like that old saying, never argue with a fool. Onlookers may not be able to tell the difference.
Precisely. Their behavior reflects their own insecurities,
Not your worth.
right? By refusing to engage, you're safeguarding your peace of mind and denying them the satisfaction of a reaction.
But honestly, that's easier said than done, right?
It is.
It's only human to be affected by negativity, especially if you're someone who genuinely values feedback.
Sure.
It's tough to just brush it off.
You're right. It's not always easy. But remember that comparison to fanboys we talked about earlier?
Yeah.
Think of it this way. A superfan's praise, while flattering,
Okay.
is often more about their idealized image of you than reality.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
The same goes for haters. Their negativity is just as distorted and amplified as that over-the-top praise.
So it's not a true reflection of you.
Right. Don't internalize it.
Their negativity stems from their own internal struggles, not from something inherently wrong with you.
Exactly. It's not personal.
You know, there was this one part in our source material I wanted to circle back to.
Okay.
The author's comparison to P.G. Wodehouse.
Oh, yes. That was rather clever, wasn't it?
It totally was. He was making the point that most of us can picture ourselves being so enamored by someone
Yeah.
that we become, well, maybe a tad too enthusiastic.
Fanboys.
Exactly. But becoming that fixated on someone you dislike,
It's a different level.
it takes a special kind of commitment to negativity.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we can all relate to being starstruck,
Sure.
but building your whole personality around disliking someone?
Yeah, that's next level. It highlights the almost obsessive nature of both extremes.
Right.
Whether it's adoration or disdain, it seems to stem from a similar place.
Yeah.
Letting someone else take up way too much space in your head.
Which makes you wonder, what if we took all that energy, all that mental real estate we're giving to these haters and, like, redirected it? The author seems to suggest that successful people just don't have the bandwidth for that kind of negativity.
Yeah.
That it's almost like a sign of, well, not being successful.
Interesting.
What if he's onto something bigger here?
You're going.
Could cultivating a mindset of appreciation for others' achievements actually be a factor in personal growth and success?
Okay.
Like, what if by genuinely celebrating the wins of others, we opened ourselves up to more opportunities?
Instead of seeing someone else's success as our own personal failure,
Right?
we start to see the possibilities. We shift from a scarcity mindset to one of abundance.
Yes. And that shift in perspective from, they're winning, so I must be losing, to, wow, if they can do it, maybe I can too. That's powerful.
Absolutely. It changes the whole game.
It really does. It's not about ignoring our own goals or comparing ourselves, but rather recognizing that someone else's success doesn't diminish our own potential.
Right. It's about lifting each other up.
Exactly. It's about shifting from a place of negativity and envy to one of inspiration and motivation.
It's about realizing that success leaves clues.
Okay.
And sometimes those clues are found in the journeys of those who have already achieved what we aspire to.
Exactly. So by understanding the dynamics of hate, maybe we can all become a little bit better at embracing love, appreciation, and support for one another.
That's a nice thought, isn't it?
It is. It's like we're choosing to focus on the positive, to be inspired by the achievements of others, and in doing so, we open ourselves up to new possibilities. Who knows what we might accomplish when we're not bogged down by negativity and comparison?
Now that's a thought worth holding on to.
It is. And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder that a little further. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and as always, keep diving deep.